Hello, what is up guys? EvilDoUsHarm here today, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Q3 earnings report from NCSoft to try and get a better idea of how Blade & Soul is advancing as a game or the future of Blade & Soul, since this is a Blade & Soul primarily focused channel. With that said, these are available to anyone, they're available to the public, and they're published every single quarter by NCSoft, basically for people who want to invest in the company or people who are currently invested in the company to get an idea of how the financial state of the company is. Without any further ado, let's get into it and let's take a look at the very first financial statement here. And that's going to be the overall financial status of NCSoft. And an interesting trend here is that their EBIT is up 8% year over year and 4% quarter over quarter. So they're bringing in a little bit more money than usual. That being said, the profit has remained relatively steady from quarter to quarter. So not translating that into an increased profit. Not that it particularly matters. They're still trending up overall as a company. So that's good for them. The first slide that's going to give us some information about Blade & Soul itself is the sales breakdown quarterly by game. So as you know, NCSoft is primarily focused in the mobile game industry. You can see based on their total sales here of mobile games compared to Blade & Soul, it's a 10x increase on mobile games versus Blade & Soul. But some interesting things to point out here. Previously before this, and I have the Q2 notes pulled up here as well, Blade & Soul was on a 5 quarter-over-quarter decline as far as total sales went. It was on a hard decline. So we finally hit the stop in Q3. So Q3 actually netted up 300 more million Korean won. So the next bit of great news for Blade & Soul has nothing to do with Blade & Soul whatsoever and has everything to do with the lineage directly above it. So if you look at the lineage chart, you're going to see 40,000 million, 30,000 million, 20,000 million, then it hit 50 and then 52,000 million Korean won. What the heck happened with lineage to make it jump up like that? If we go to the Q2 earnings, you will see that there was a huge jump of 142% quarter over quarter because they remastered Lineage 1. And as you know, the Blade & Soul Remastered is coming out next month on the Korean server and hopefully soon to follow on the NA and EU servers. If Blade & Soul can experience a similar jump of 140% with the patch when it comes out, it would be amazing. On top of that, Lineage has proven that it in fact retains those players as well. The people didn't just join Lineage and say, oh, okay, this was fun, and then leave. They stayed and they continued to spend money. So this is really awesome news for Blade & Soul, really awesome news for the future of Blade & Soul if they can execute a revamp and a relaunch similar to the way that they did with Lineage. So really great news in the future. We'll have to look at the Q4 earnings because that's when it will release in Korea. And as we know, Blade & Soul's biggest market is in Korea. So we will see how it trends and how it fares, and we'll be able to predict it for the NA and EU versions to see if we're going to experience a similar type of increase. Now with all of that positivity said, if we take a look at the sales breakdown by region, you will see that the NA and EU version, the region that I play on, the majority of my viewers play on, did drop about 600, 700 million Korean won. Obviously, this is due to the bad patches that we got on the Blade & Soul server. Obviously, there are different games like Aeon, Guild Wars 2, Lineage all available, so they all impacted this. But I would be willing to bet that some of this decline was due, in fact, to Blade & Soul. But once again, hopefully the release of the remastered version will give it a huge spike, similar to the way that Lineage performed. Now, the next slide shows you your cost breakdown for the company, and interestingly enough, their labor costs reduced because they reduced their welfare benefits for their employees, which is pretty darn cool. And whatever a one-off item change is, so yay. But overall, they did manage to reduce their costs across the board to try and improve their profits and whatnot in the company. And then we have the financial consolidation statements, which basically just summarizes all the pretty little pictures into a text box, just for people that like looking at spreadsheets like me. But anyway, guys, that is basically it for this statement. So once again, if you want to read it yourself, a link is in the description below to all of the earnings releases. So you can take a look at all that information if you want it. And anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did like the video, make sure to leave a like, check out some of the other videos on the channel, and make sure you're subscribed so you stay updated when new content comes out. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at the next stream, video, or wherever I happen to see you. Peace.